Bella felt humiliated when Rosalie told her to go back and get lost. Rosalie instructed Dolan to escort Bella back. Dolan blocked Bella to take her. Unable to hold her anger, Bella raised her hand to slap butler Dolan. However, Bella's attempt was stopped when Rosalie grabbed her hand. With an ice-cold warning, Rosalie told Bella that unless she wants to be dragged by the knights, then it would be better to just go quietly. There was no cowardice or hesitation in Rosalie's eyes. The Crown Prince made a silent chuckle, indicating that the situation became interesting, but no one saw it. Derivis then spoke up, suggesting that he is on Rosalie's side. It was a shameful thing to say, but Bella, who couldn't even confront the Crown Prince, can only bite her lower lip. In the end, Bella frustratedly left the garden. Rosalie stared at the departing Bella before Sonia called her. Sonia couldn't stop staring at Rosalie, with an expression of disbelief because Rosalie seemed different. Sonia's eyes sparkled with emotion, because her friend seemed unfamiliar to her right now. A complicated expression was written on her face. Nobody was able to read what she was thinking, but maybe because she was the heroine, Rosalie didn't find Sonia's emotional outburst annoying. In fact, her contrasting behavior was cute. Sonia seemed happy that Rosalie changed for the better. Sonia's reaction was strong, but the suspicion was normal. As the female protagonist of this world, Sonia was almost perfect in Rosalie's eyes. Afterwards, Rosalie was discussing with Dolan about who to hire for the position of general officer. Suddenly, a man appeared while they were talking in the corridors. Neon, the general administrator and Bella's closest confidant, paced furiously. Neon was on his way to see Rosalie, after receiving an abrupt termination notice. Right away, Neon shouted at Rosalie why he will be fired from his position. In truth, Neon and Bella committed countless corruptions. The embezzled amount was so enormous that it couldn't be recovered, which is why Rosalie didn't budge at Neon's outburst. Still, Neon acted arrogantly since he knew that Bella was backing him. Despite Neon's evil deeds, he shamelessly carried on his protest. Rosalie stared at Neon, who was constantly squawking, and fell into deep thought. However, Neon was a civilian and not from army, so she can't just use violence. Due to being in military, Rosalie had an aggressive side to suppress her subordinates. Although punching Neon would have been satisfying, she held back but still plans to intimidate him. Rosalie then spoke that she had all the evidence on Neon's corruption. At that moment, Commander Aaron walked up behind Rosalie. Rosalie thought that Aaron came at the right time, and told him that Neon is fired. It also implies that she is ordering Aaron to drag Neon out, if he resists, since Aaron is strong. Upon Rosalie's instruction, Aaron carefully surveyed the situation. Neon was one of the people that Aaron didn't get along with, since Neon cut off the knight's budget. Commander Aaron spoke in an excited voice, saying to leave Neon to him. Afterwards, Rosalie saw the commotion of Neon being dragged away. Resuming their discussion, Dolan asked about the person Rosalie wants as the new general administrator. Rosalie instructed Dolan to find and scout a man named Eridit. She remembered that Eridit in the novel was a person with hidden ambitions. Eridit was an outstanding commoner who became the general officer for the Crown Prince. Rosalie plans to recruit talented people before the Crown Prince finds them first. Hours later, Sonia walked up into Rosalie's office and was chatting with her. Rosalie nodded from time to time as Sonia continued to brag. While Sonia was on her chatty nature, Dolan informed Rosalie that Eridit has arrived. Rosalie told Dolan to let Eridit come inside the office. Eridit's appearance seemed mild, with his silvery eyes behind the glasses and drooping features. Sonia pouted and prepared to leave, since they will be discussing official business. Rosalie then guided Erudit to the sofa and told him to start tomorrow immediately. Rosalie was calm in telling Erudit about the circumstances of the work entailed. She also considered Erudit's transportation and reminded about the work schedules. As Rosalie was explaining, Erudit's expressionless face gradually turned into confusion. He thought that this was still a formal interview, but Rosalie already talked as if he was already hired. In response to Erudit's bewildered attitude, Rosalie spoke calmly. Sonia, who was on her way to leaving the office, glanced back. However, her look was somewhat suspicious and strange. After hearing the confused Erudit's statement, Rosalie wasn't surprised. Since she intended to hire Erudit from the start, she had no intention of asking useless questions for interview. Erudit hesitated, scanning Rosalie with his droopy eyes. He then asked why Rosalie easily accepted him, even though he was a commoner. Usually, a noble family doesn't hire commoners for managing internal affairs. Erudit thought that he might become a scapegoat to cover up Neon's corruption. He adjusted his glasses as he spoke, and there was no confusion in his eyes anymore. Rosalie replied firmly, looking into Erudit's eyes, saying that such a thing won't happen. Rosalie told Erudit that she chose him because he is talented and ambitious. She also realized that she was being scrutinized by Erudit, but she brushed it off. Afterwards, Erudit asked if he will be able to start right away tomorrow. Rosalie agreed. It was her intention from the start. Erudit nodded his head and turned to leave. As Erudit left the office, he stopped in his tracks. Contrary to Rosalie's negative rumors, Erudit found her to be regal and dignified. She displayed qualities fitting of a duchess, like being confident and determined. Additionally, Rosalie didn't look down his status being a commoner but considered him as talented. She has the appearance of a skilled duchess who had experienced all sorts of situations. While Erudit was walking in deep thought, a person walked up to him. A brightly smiling Sonia appeared, and she asked Erudit about his conversation with Rosalie. She was concerned about Rosalie, but her words seemed to be a bit condescending. Sonia had a reputation for her beauty and kind personality in the empire. Also, her title as Derivis' childhood friend made her even more famous. However, today, Sonia's behavior was unusual, but no one noticed this. She then told Erudit to rely on her if he encounters some problems out of politeness. Erudit declined Sonia's advances and started walking past her. Rosalie left a deeper impression on Erudit, so Sonia's presence didn't feel particularly striking. Meaning, Sonia's behavior is nothing special compared to Rosalie for him. Erudit is very observant towards people and can easily tell that Sonia isn't as simple as she looks. As he walked past, Sonia gave a disapproving glance. Erudit judged that Sonia is the type who is easily swept away by her emotions. After Erudit left, Rosalie was disappointedly surprised to see an unexpected face. It was Derivis, the crown prince, who was outside the office. However, Derivis was here to request Rosalie to let him borrow a horse. When Rosalie tilted her head at the sudden request, Derivis offered to have an activity together. Rosalie's eyes lightened up as she was curious about horseback riding. Still, she reasoned out that she had never ridden a horse before and is inexperienced. Derivis, who hadn't missed the momentary glint in Rosalie's eyes, smirked. He requested Rosalie to show him to the stables, making her annoyed. Since it's burdensome, she can only swallow her annoyance since the person is a guest and the crown prince. Thereafter, Rosalie agreed and they headed together to the stables. Later, they arrived at the stables located in the corner of the mansion. Rosalie spoke to Derivis that he can use any of the horses around. Although she was curious, she still has some work and she's inexperienced anyway. All of a sudden, Derivis suggested to Rosalie to at least try riding one. As someone who enjoyed all kinds of physical activities, Rosalie hesitated, but Derivis pushed further. Derivis then proposed that he will take control of the reins. Rosalie hesitated once again and her legs didn't move. After some contemplation, Rosalie sighed and finally went. The weather was nice, so it would be a shame to not experience this at least once. Rosalie was about to jump up, but realizing she was in a dress, she frowned. Seeing this situation, Derivis offered to lift Rosalie up. He gently wrapped his arm around Rosalie's waist and lifted her effortlessly. Despite being thin, Rosalie was surprised at Derivis' strength. An indescribable feeling overwhelmed Rosalie. Since it was her first time on a horse, Derivis took a last look to make sure everything is good. Right after, he leapt at Rosalie's back and prepared to leave. Derivis reassured Rosalie to relax, but his words are too friendly. Or maybe flirty? As Derivis led the reins, the horse began to move slowly. The horse began to move faster, making Rosalie nervous. But after a lap, she began to feel accustomed to the movements of the horse. She closed her eyes to feel the refreshing feeling of horse riding. After some time, Rosalie opened her eyes when she sensed a different environment. It was a bit chilly, but a pleasant breeze was blowing as they arrived in the field of reeds. The scenery was breathtaking. The fields shone brightly under the autumn sunlight. Derivis gradually slowed down the horse's speed to appreciate the scenery. Since she was riding without a saddle, Rosalie's back felt sore, but she forgot about it. Ever since she came into this world, this was the first time she was able to relax around. Derivis dismounted from the horse and offered a hand to reach out towards Rosalie. However, Rosalie also jumped off on her own and was patting her dress. The crown prince withdrew his hand and didn't seem to mind that Rosalie was distancing herself. Derivis tried to open a topic about blowing away the worries. Rosalie didn't reply, but she felt the steady breeze. It was refreshing, indeed. She then responded that whatever worries the crown prince have, she hoped that it will be resolved soon. Her eyes were clear and full of confidence. Derivis was taken aback, surprised at such tasteless consolation. He told Rosalie that she didn't seem really concerned in whatever worry he has and just wished him luck. Rosalie expressionally replied that she can't solve the problems for him after all. Derivis smiled. It was a blunt response, but he preferred it more than a usual pretense of concern or assurances when people claim they could fix the problem when they can't. The crown prince seemed to be more intrigued by Rosalie. As time goes by, they stood in silence, feeling the wind blowing. Derivis occasionally glanced at Rosalie, however. She didn't even give him a single glance back.
That's all, folks. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment down below, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be posting more videos about good reads you may like, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. See you soon.